Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna talk about real break versus fake break. Okay, like a false break versus a real break. So, first thing, when you guys look at a structure breaking, like for example on Esther here, if you guys are looking at this mega dunk taking out all these lows, right? What do you guys look at? I mean, what's the first thing that you guys look at when you guys are watching these type of range get broken or get traded through? Most people, they're looking at, oh my God, it's bearish, right? It's breaking structures to the downside, it's bearish. But what I look at, right, once it comes to a key level, fair value, previous lows, right? What I'm looking for, how it's interacting with these breaks. So in this case, we come in and we wick, right? We do not, once again, fair value. That's the key point now. We do not fair value below a fair value, right? We're not gapping below a gap. Okay. And once again, we come back to now rebalance the gap inside of this wick, right? So now price comes back, the wick low to the wick high, right? Price comes right back to grab the wick. Once again, higher time frame wick, inside of that wick, it's lower time frame fair values. Okay. So again, it comes back to rebalance higher low. And once again, as it's coming back into the low, what are we doing? We're not fair valuing lower and holding 382 retracement inside of this wick. Okay. And again, once we now have a break, what do you guys want to look for? So this structure high, to know that we're really breaking higher, now we need to not just see candles close above, but now we need to start to see fair value creating higher, right? To have bullish order flow, not just a bullish structure, but also needs to have a bullish order flow to be considered an actual break and to have enough momentum and order flow to support the move coming back down to even push back higher, right? So in this case, it made multiple gaps going higher, right? Two gaps after the structure, one before the structure, one after the structure, right? With candles closing. At the same time, again, that gives you another range, right? Your low to the high. And once again, where are we coming back in when we're coming back into this break? We're coming right back into the GP plus another fair value now. And once again, notice this, guys. Again, coming back in, how do you know if this is a sweep, a fake break, or a real break to the downside? Once again, you need to look at how we're coming into this fair value, into this fib level, and look at the candles. No candles are closing below, and we're again not fair valuing lower, right? So key sauce again, not to just look at the candles, but look at the order flow, right? Look at the order flow as it's coming into your level. So again, coming back out of your level, now what do we need to see? We need to start to see price create fair value going higher from the structure, making higher high, plus this structure. So now we have one good sign of creating fair value plus inversion on this 90-minute chart. So now it can work up to create that fair value to go higher. Okay, so once now that fair value higher has confirmed, then now we fully will have a new higher high in the market now. Because right now, even this high, right, we haven't cleared this high out yet. So we need like another higher high with new fair value, new order flow to show us that we can push through these highs. Because again, if we come back up here now, and again, candle comes up, candle can't even close above higher, but there's, again, after that, there's no fair value showing, then that will be a false break now. So that would be, again, then a false break, not a real break, and this will get retraced. And again, the move up that failed to create fair value higher will become your target, and we will take these lows out and these lows out, and then we got to look for a new setup if we do not fair value lower from this point, creating another swing. Okay? So again, I'm gonna run it down one more time. So a real break always should have a new fair value after the point of breaking. Okay, and vice versa. A fake break, a false break, will have no fair value breaking higher. Again, it can make higher highs going on, higher highs going on. The perfect example will be right here. It could be a higher high going on, higher high going on, even a candle close, right? Like I said, even a candle close. But what do you guys see here? Perfect example here. Again, into a gap, taking out liquidity. But what are we doing? Most of the people, again, think this will take out these highs, right? Because at this point, again, structure is bullish if you do it by the rule, right? If you do it by the book, candle close above previous candle. But in my book, again, that's a false break because it wasn't aligned with order flow. And I think this is what most people are missing when they're reading structures, right? You need to align order flow plus structure, right? When it's doing those liquidation or sweeps, right? Then again, in my view, this was a clear false break. Again, inside of a gap, no gap up, no gap above it. Again, it needs another fair value higher from this point to even break higher to this point, right? But the moment we fail to fair value higher, then again, where is your target going to be? It's going to be the lows of the leg that we failed to fair value higher, right? So again, these lows get taken out. Same thing, coming down, coming down, coming down. Again, inside of a fair value, right? What do you guys see? Wick below, lower low, higher low. But what is lacking at this point now inside of this fair value? Bearish fair value. So once again, if we're coming into a level, no matter how bad the candlesticks look, if there is no physical bearish order flow coming into this level, then again, it's most likely going to hold this bullish order flow to now create more bullish order flow. And if we hold fair value on fair value, you can expect fair value high. So just like here, if it's holding fair value and if fair values, so right at this point, and you guys can see that is your confirmation, not when we came down here, but once we created that fair value on top of a fair value, not fair valuing lower, not just how it broke the structure. Then again, you can expect these fair values to be held, right? Fair value on top of fair value, imbalance on top of imbalance. Because as we're not creating a fair value lower, what are we actually creating inside of the order flow? We're creating bullish imbalances within these points, right? Before it creates new fair value higher. And once we do create that new fair value higher plus a break with new fair value higher, making a higher high, then once we come back into that higher low inside of that gap, you can expect a push out of it now, right? Fair value inside of a fair value, creating another fair value. That's bullish order flow. Okay. So hopefully today's lesson helped you guys straight on if to tell if it's a real break or a false break. All right. Peace.